people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay?
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat.
Yo, Tarzan. Guys, welcome to the show. Today, we're going to get a lot of fun. It might be about your favorite project. You might agree with it. You might not.
There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay?
True. Now, starting off right off the rip, MicroStrategy from the one and only Michael Saylor has acquired an additional 9,245,000 Bitcoin for $623 million. Using proceeds from convertible notes and excess cash for $67,382 per Bitcoin. And that is on the 18th. So that would be as of yesterday. And MicroStrategy owns 214,000 Bitcoin. Wow. Oh, wow. Shows his average price too. But of course, you can't have anything nice in this world because you got Peter Schiff, who is immediately trying to drop a different perspective on it. Yet, despite your reckless leveraged buying, Bitcoin is still down 15% from its high just 5 days ago. Now that you're done buying, the bottom can really drop out of the market. When Bitcoin hits 20K, MSTR will be down 3.25 billion, basically insinuating that the stock would be down horrendously. At 10K, MicroStrategy will be down 5.5 billion. Every day there's fun on the timeline. Can you believe this? Now, as I've said before, Bill Noble is one of my favorite follows within the crypto sphere. Guy's been in banking, done a whole lot of things, and whenever he's got a banger video, which is pretty often, I want to highlight it because, man, does it ever make me feel bullish. Okay, so this was a few days ago. Okay, this is on the 15th, but here's what Mr. Bill Noble had to say.
6th Street Crypto, the one-man crypto podcast coming to you from the streets of Austin, Texas. So, who are you listening to? You know what's going to happen here? A tornado. That's right, a tornado. Right? The clouds build, and the crypto tornado is about to touch down and absolutely rampage like a force of nature. You see them get everybody out on Friday? Right? Everybody in the Bitcoin ETF world, everybody freaking out, everybody selling. That little thing they did at the close where it rallied and then it failed and then they kind of puked it again. Ooh, that had like a panicky edge to it. Like, oh my God, it's going to go to zero. Yeah, that was the bottom. Now the bullish tornado clouds. I'm like a radio announcer. Instead of a baseball game or a football game, I'm calling the play-by-play on a tornado. Where the tornado of crypto, the human natural force of A, I need to make money, B, I'm sick of inflation, and C, F you to the powers that be. When that tornado touches down, oh my God, it's just not gonna stop. Mutual funds, crypto hedge funds, they're gonna have to chase the big stuff. And when that happens, what are you gonna need? You're gonna need the long-term price prediction report In the Patreon.
In the Patreon group. Hell yeah, Bill's Patreon. Hell yeah. All right. Got to let him get that little shill in there. But damn, he was bullish about it. But listen, it felt like everybody was going hella bullish into this week. Obviously, we've seen kind of like a flush across the ecosystem. But I mean, I don't know. Always feeling bullish. I need to upload the streams from Friday. If you were there for the mega stream, what an experience that was. Philia Baca joining me first, going over the early days of him tagging me in a tweet where it introduced me to Bored Ape Yacht Club. Perspective of the time that it was, but also highlighting NBA Top Shot. So if you're interested in checking that out, he was the first guest. I have added chapters to that. So if you're wanting to see the full show and you're curious about certain guests or certain collections, feel free to do that. But I will be uploading them individually and have a whole bunch of shorts at some point. It's crazy the difference in YouTube of when you upload shorts versus not in terms of new user engagement. But with that said, Feedback is saying this of the experience. Talking with Schillerverse today about our journey thus far in the NFTs was the best. Really nostalgic to think back over the past 3 years. Big love to one of the best folks I know in this space. Shucks. Shucks. Now, if you haven't seen The Third Kingdom, all right, for any of you guys that have been watching and following this crazy journey we've been in, I might be right about the whole Fluff thing, eh? So they made an announcement about this Third Kingdom, and they were giving out like 312 million root, which let's just say we go into like a bull run here, right? Like just let's say that root goes to where Prime is right now. Holy sheesh. This is like $100+ million prize pool. I don't think people are paying attention to this. I think that there is also a mention of active Fluff World communities getting land for the NFTs, not just the burrows. So I think that's going to be huge. And I think the demand for prisms is going to cause an interesting scene as we've educated about root being like fully staked right now. And most people having or won't have the time to be able to get that root from unstaking, etc. So we could be seeing some market buys for that across the ecosystem. But this is going to be massive. We'll see what the different characters, if I think all these other collections get land of their own, is it going to be specific for those players? Are they all going to be the same? Is there community land? Do we get to work together? Guys, listen, we might be having a run of Kingdom together. Imagine that. You ever seen Walking Dead and they have the guy that has the tiger and he's the keeper of the kingdom or whatever? I am him. That's crazy. We'll see what happens. But again, huge prize pool. We'll get more into it in a little bit. But there was an announcement where Futureverse, as we just saw, had those collections, but Shara right before that went out did a picture of her nails. And somebody made a comment about how you can instantly tell that it's Doodle's branding. And you're right. And second of all, back in February, they have a thing about root. So was this a hint that Doodles was involved with them back then and we didn't know? Crazy, brother. Look at the history. These are old gaming logos. You can see for Riot. Rockstar apparently is the exact same. Sega changed massively. Square Enix pretty much kept the same. Big differences between the logos from back then and now. What do we like? Sleek. This Epic one. Yeah, the Epic looks nice. It's clean. All right, extremely disappointing at Starbucks. Oh boy, let's get into it. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. Together we celebrated a shared love of coffee and you created a community by traveling together through digital coffee experiences, games, and challenges. As we turn to the future, we want to let you know that the Starbucks Odyssey beta experience will close on March 31st. In advance of our beta sunset, we will also close the Odyssey beta Discord server on March 20th. Starbucks Odyssey beta has been an important step on our journey to create the future of Starbucks rewards. As a community, you have been among the most engaged Odyssey members, and we greatly appreciate it. From conversations over coffee to trivia night to Discord discussions, which there's probably not too many of you that like experience that, but think of your own NFT community Discord. Now imagine going to a Discord that's just people that drink Starbucks. you feel like that's your crowd? Like, never mind, not my cup of tea, right? See? Perspective. Starbucks Odyssey beta has been an important step in our journey to create the Starbucks reward as a community of being among the most your consistent engagement and feedback have been vitally important in determining our next step forward. Be on the lookout for exciting new member experiences coming your way in April. In the meantime, please know that you'll still have access to your stamps, and we will be delivering a final benefit to Odyssey holders who are level 1 or higher via email. All right, so maybe a gift card or something, but damn, Starbucks, that's tough. When games like Roblox and Fortnite eventually move economies on-chain, we will be looking at 10+ billion per year in economic activity. The GDP of these video games will surpass many countries. Immense amounts of value will be unlocked in the coming years. Okay, so you ever read something and you're like, damn, that described relatively better than anything I've ever tried at a word to somebody that I've explained why I'm so interested in this sector is? Well, this is the tweet to fill in whatever the hell I've said. I agree. I think that the gaming world, listen, if you can turn life into a game, everybody wants to do it. I mean, we're not even talking about video games, right? But if you're out doing some kind of work, if you have a friend you connect with really well at your work, then it's like, it feels like a game. Time passes. People want to have these games. They want to have these experiences, and it is going to bring a ton of capital with it. What the hell is going on? So the other day, I guess Gutter Cat Gang got rebought a second time or something. This person saying, who's this grifter that bought out GCG? 50-50 shot. It's still Noah. It was the guy that was a part of it. I mean, I don't know. I just see these things on my timeline, right? So it says, brother, it's the notorious frogs that they wanted to do from jump, but Noah got the company first. They just aren't going to come out and say it because folks would say who, and there would have been no price action. I don't know. This just sounds like they were hoping certain people were going to be able to provide value, increase the floor. It looks like none of it's going to happen. What is going on? But we got to continue the FUD. So how much did Persona raise off mint? Remember we brought up the other day ago? I'm in before the FUD every time. I said, it's kind of odd. Persona's not tweeted in a week. That was like the most hyped up mint we've seen in a minute. What's going on? We're community members though, bro. Quit fudding our bags. Truly. Now this so over the weekend as well, we've had the Nick experience. I choose rich. I have one of my old live streams. Let's call that. That was the day things really ended up going viral. For that, looks like things are tailing off potentially a little bit for that. But Memecoin Mania is still there. Nick's still out on the timeline. The only time that I had a problem with this was that so we went on Barstool Sports with Dave Portnoy, and now we have people that are like legitimately hoping that Dave Portnoy tweets about a coin to make it go up. Listen, these theses are not great. Just throwing that meatball out there. And I guess during the conversation, he brought up that there's a coin that's like with a tag of rich. And so there's I choose rich Nick, and then I choose rich. And I'm like, it's too confusing. People have no way, dude. All right, so gaming will rip next week. You heard it here first. This is from Kieran Warwick, who's the co-founder of Alluvium. You've heard of Alluvium. True. So hasn't the whole market just absolutely tanked this week so far? Well, listen, there's still time. I think the reason he's saying this is because like the GDC event is going on. We'll look at the Arbitrum setup here momentarily, but conversations, leaks of what's going on for games. See, here's the problem, is these events are cool, but similar to how we saw that trailer with the One metaverse through Futureverse, right? The IP of Ready Player One, and we've not really seen that much of any action like whatsoever. Like before, sure, back in 21 or early 22, if people had a trailer, it looked cool. Remember Valhalla? It had one of the best trailers with all these dragons, just crazy stuff. And there was like a decent amount of action just based off of that trailer. But it feels like anything that's established, trailers don't really get people going right now. It's actually being able to experience what the game is like. And I think that's one of the reasons why Parallel and that whole ecosystem is doing as good, because the game's out there, people have liked it, and it's showcasing and really starting to grow. Someone that spent 102 SOL or $20,000, which is a lot, but still, to grab 347 million of Book of Memes, Memecoin from the high risk pre-sale has finished liquidating their entire position for 6.56 mil. Holy. So from 19,000 to almost $7 million. Now you sit here and perspectively, some people could be older, some of you could be younger, and you're like, damn, that sounds amazing. So then everybody kind of jumps in and tries to figure their way out. And the part that's interesting is we haven't had any sort of this kind of catalyst until now. I'm trying to remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but Top Shot, at least in my lifetime, was the only thing that I saw anybody that was outside of the hardcore crypto space that we kind of are get into it. But meme coins now, I'm starting to see it. And I don't know what to think. But this could prove that things are even more crazy, and somebody had a pretty wild thought about what if meme coins are, well, one, this cycle's NFTs where people are seeing this and it's just the dollar sign. It's not, hey, here's this image attached and there's going to be a future utility, which some of the collections do have. So there's this even more awkward stigma about NFTs because it's like, no, just buy these meme coins. I'm like, okay, guys, what are this? Sustainability, this and that. Maybe it becomes an entire market where they actually are able just to be kind of their own. Maybe, but still wild to see. And we've seen kind of a little bit of a tail off in terms of people trying to, I guess, fight back on the narrative. Looking at NFTs from a meme coin POV, it's not the right approach, in my opinion. NFTs are bad at being meme coins, but they also have a lot of things that meme coins can't give you. Many of the biggest W's I've had in crypto have come from the connections that NFT communities have enabled. Having an NFT PFP, having a PFP from the same collection, being a community member in the good sense. This is one of the reasons why community was in such a central aspect of the space. And then G-Funk timing in here saying this: many founders, projects, and companies, NFTs or otherwise, are working to build things of lasting value for and alongside their communities. These product lifestyles cannot and will not compete with the manic cycles of memes, shitcoins, which can be created and go viral overnight. We are building for the years to come, not weeks. Build product is hard and requires iteration and time. I still believe a real product will dictate the future of this technology, while at the same time I also really enjoy memes, trading, and speculating like the rest of you. There is room for both. And I agree, right? We're just talking about perspectives throughout the day. I generally agree. I think that we're actually in a point where we might have access to kind of the early stages of technology that revolutionizes the world. Visitors of I'm a Degen, but on Solana. Guys, listen, we said we were going to just launch an NFT because everybody was on say. Now it's switching. We're not going to drop an NFT. We're going to switch to a meme coin and do it on Solana. What the hell is next, people? It's crazy. I should start a meme coin. Will be the 2024's version of I Start a Podcast. Tagline got jokes, but he's right. Trader Pop, see ya. Yo, is that what you're into? Hell yeah, brother. Following my recent Munchies Blast announcement, one question I have received repeatedly is why build on Blast? I feel that base, everybody talking about base all the freaking time. Like base is going to be the onboarder for the new people. Base is going to be this, base is going to be that. And what do we have to go on? We have like the exchange, but then the NFT market. The NFT market obviously super hella flopped. Well, the exchange is like the biggest one in the entire States and like second biggest in the world or something. Right. So what's going on with Blast? Well, listen, we got more and more threads on here, but if you want to hear the history of Wolfgame, if you want to go over the craziness that was Azuki, we did have Da Vinci on where he did talk about his project Munchies, and that video is going to come up a little bit later as well. But if you're wanting to go check out the mega stream I did on Friday, you can see all that good stuff. And if you check out his feed, you can read all of his threads. Cigar, we may not want to admit it, all right, but meme coins are bringing in retail crypto adoption. Really? Do you have to like it? No. Is it ignorant to claim otherwise? Yes. People will always be enamored by the idea of hitting the next 10,000x, and meme coins are the easiest ways to do this. Remember GameStop Mania from 2020? Meme coins encapsulated the same stick it to the moon, we're going to the moon, herd-like mentalities on a smaller scale. I don't know how long the current meme coin meta will last, but it definitely will not be the last. I personally don't spend much time speculating on meme coins, nor do I love them. Some of them are funny though, but I'm willing to admit that it's attracting more attention to crypto than anything else right now. That is important. Because think of all the people that they're getting introduced to specifically for the meme coin market. And they might not know. And then they see some guy, it's like, hey, here's a pre-sale. And it's the first person. And then finding out what an influencer is. And oh my goodness gracious. It's funny. Like just, we're definitely reliving 2021, but this time through meme coins. Now, here was a crazy take that like, it kind of works. But let me know if there's a flaw in it. So stick to buying the biggest meme coin on each change this cycle. You can't go wrong. Pepe on Ethereum, Snek on Cardano, Brett on Base, Whiff on Solana, and Wolf on Avalanche. What do you think about that? Buying the top meme coins on each blockchain. Now we got people again out here fudding. Should we just launch Ape on Sol and no DAO and quickly overtake the current market cap? People hate the ApeCoin DAO. It's just a thing. You got Deepak here, who's again huge person in the space, putting a ton of money into things, giving the eyeballs. Listen, the whales are ready to move. But speaking of whales, did you ever see the Louis Vuitton trunk from the NFT sale that happened forever ago? Looks like it opens a little bit, and then they have some shelves. Ooh, looks maybe like a watch. Damn it, we don't get to see more. What the hell is that? So I think that was like $40,000. I think it comes with some other digital things, whatever's in there. But what do you think? $40,000. 1.5 BTC, otherwise 101K. Double that Louis Vuitton, and you got yourself the Nodemonkes, the King Duck. Remember when we talked about your status? At a point, having a Bored Ape was a status. I think right now the majority of you would agree that having a CryptoPunk is a status. Well, the Nodemonkes, okay, so sure we have the Providence argument, but I don't know. I see a lot of people using that as their PFP. I think it's for the status. Ready for launch, the Yugaverse and beyond can now KYC for the Ape Accelerated's upcoming Space Nation game mint. Curious how this goes back to benefit the DAO, if it's just the fact that it's going to require ApeCoin to mint. Because again, the only way that ApeCoin is going out right now is for the people that are staking their apes and mutants to coins to get more coins. It's just general staking. I don't think anything that happens on the network necessarily goes back to it, but it's just an attempt at creating demand for the token. CoffeeZilla, you might be familiar with him as he was one of the biggest YouTubers that covered anything to do with multiple things across crypto, from the CryptoZoo scam with Logan Paul. Some people don't think it's a scam because they're giving some money back. Some people do. The SBF debacle. If you remember, he was out there trying to grind out and be the Sherlock Holmes, getting all the goodies. So a lot of meme coin culture right now equals huge gambles, hoping for 100x. Sad but not surprised, people are getting scammed. People are so afraid of missing out, they're becoming easy targets for this stuff. So if I'm asking you for a perspective, is arguably the biggest line on this, people are so afraid of missing out. Right there. Interesting context. They think that they're going to miss out. All the crypto's gone up too much for them to be able to get in, even though you don't need to buy a whole Bitcoin for, whatever it is, $70,000. You can buy parts of it. Some people don't realize that. But then also they go on there and they see, all right, what's the cheapest token on here? So then we scroll, okay, 62 cents, 13 cents. Okay, Shiba Inu right here. This is not even a quarter of a cent. And then it doesn't matter when you look at the market cap. They don't want to look that far ahead. I mean, we can still go down here. Shiba might be the only one that's near the top. We have $1 there. Yeah, damn, there's not really that many meme coins up here at the top. Kronos point. Wow, there we go. Pepe. So again, there's another one. But the market cap, again, $3 billion. Billion dollars. That's crazy, right? And that's super high, but we've noted that it could theoretically go to 10 billion. So then you're like, okay, there's like a 4 or 5x. But what if you could find the stuff that's way down there that's not even in the top 500? Now, not everything's going to work, obviously. You could argue that some of the ones up here on the top are safer, but it's just, think of the retail that's going in and trying to figure this stuff out for the first time. Made the same mistake a couple days ago. Sent 2 soul to a scam comment is what it is. Damn it, Tarzan. Always remember, go through the links directly on the websites, through the official links, but be careful. Some of the gold ones are even kind of scam ridden too. Here are the facts of Persona Journey back to the FUD. Mint raised 5.5 mil in February. Mint burned $700,000 worth of gas. Gotta love Ethereum and people not figuring this out still. Haven't tweeted in 2 weeks. PFP still haven't revealed. Every influencer working overtime to pump pre-mint. You know, I thought about it. Sure. I can't believe you thought about it. I know. Wild, right? But I was like, But I'm glad that I didn't for right now. Like, okay, some of them are cool. What if I get one that I don't really like? I'm not going to profile it, so what's the point? Okay, there's the extra like token that it has. I don't really care about that ecosystem. I just thought the art looked cool. Maybe they launch another mint later that's cheaper, and I don't spend, a couple grand, and you don't know what it's going to reveal. But Crypto Valleys, you're on blast. PSA, it's time. Quest reward number 1, fertilizer and growth elixirs. Guidelines, retweet and quote like this post, tag 3 friends. So I guess we're at a stage where these different collections are just giving out like free stuff for engaging on their X. I don't know. I don't know what to think about all these referrals, these different social campaigns. There's got to be some sort of like innovative approach that's not this overwhelming aspect, because I mean, depending on who you follow, right? Like if somebody tweets a link and you're like, oh, okay, like I've known that person to find things that I've really liked in the past. Let me go click on it and then you'll learn about it. But at the same time, you might have somebody be like, this could be legit, but I've never really talked to them or found anything. Like, there's a way to have like a vetting process for these things of like, yeah, this is a part of it. And it just, you automatically get a checklist of something. I don't know. There's got to be a better way than just seeing that stuff all over your timeline. Now, speaking of Prime and Parallel, we did have Jeremy on the second last hour of the Maggot stream on Friday. We talked about Parallel Avatar's origin journey of him and I as well. But this was interesting because it shows, hey, here's your estimated earning in Prime. Now, let's just say that it's $1 for a Prime, so this is like 25 cents. It's not. I think it's like way more, like upwards of $11 or something right now. So let's just say throughout this person made like $5 in a day of playing. Right? $5, whatever. Man, if I really like that game and I'm getting like $5 worth of stuff on top of it, like, wow. That's gaming. That's cool. Everybody wants to be an esport pro, but most people are dog at it, right? True. But this gives it a whole nother world. I think people are not aware of the economic implications of getting people in mass playing these different games and wanting to level up, wanting to play, wanting to earn on them, trying to figure out how to get good enough to earn, even if it requires, paying something for it. But what if you're like, I don't want to take the time to learn an entire another game. I want something that's a bit more passive. This is where I don't know if this fits the bill, but I think it might. And that's the Third Kingdom, which we highlighted before. Pudgy Penguins, Walker World, Doodles, Cool Cats. Everything to do with Futureverse. They have a game that's upcoming in partnership with Walker World. Ton of root that's available, but it seems like it's a simulation game that's kind of like a farming simulator. But for Visit Open, they also put a little bit of a teaser for this. You do need to get a Future Pass if you are wanting to play, so be sure to do that. I've talked about it a ton, but just basically look up Future Pass or go to Futureverse's website, and you just like connect your wallet to it, and then it'll give you a pass for it. But make sure you do that before, as they've said. You're going to regret not taking this as seriously as you should have. This is something that I feel I've never had a problem with. I felt that arguably last year, I probably should have been like, okay, I'm just, we're figuring something else to do. But for the years prior and how I feel earlier this year, is there's a lot of cool opportunities for just being a part of this growing. There's a lot of people that still think it's stupid, that'll never touch it, but you guys are here and you've actually done it, so you're proof that it exists. And I think that's really cool. We haven't even seen DAOs buying sports teams, dinosaurs, or the Constitution, or sexes buying naming rights to stadiums, or our friends browsing private islands yet. Higher. I mean, if we remember FTX, you remember the crazy stuff before. The oddest thing we have right now, I think, is the whiff hat on the Las Vegas Sphere. And Nick getting a lot of attention by mainstream. It's probably the two things right now. Let me know if there's anything else. Some say I'm just a random guy in this space. I'm not as famous as them, but in 2021, I made the biggest purchase of a non-legendary CyberCon. So if you guys remember, I had one of these. And this one sold for 77 ETH. But let's go back and look at what that was at the time. 3 years ago. This was $300,000. Now, why was it $300,000? Well, the utility for it at the time was that it gave you 10 banana a day. And that banana token was about $100. So you were effectively making $1,000 a day. How absolutely ridiculous is that? Now, obviously, it wasn't sustainable. Everything came crashing down. But that's to show how crazy the market can get and why some of these yield-bearing assets are something that I'm paying attention to, because it's like, holy, I've seen this before. Now, this already happened, but last night, the Bored Ape Yacht Club hosted its second ever Bored Ape meeting. Every person I knew was streaming that, watching it, and covering it. For the first one, not this one. I don't know why I didn't see anybody covering it, except for the Bored Ape Gazette. Maybe there was a couple tweets here and there, but when they did that Moonbirds presser, oh my God, everybody was streaming it. What happened? Breaking Solana worldwide Google search interest hits highest point in history. Oh no. Isn't this what they told us would be the top of the market? That's what they've told us. Oh, it is, isn't it? Oh, that's what I call tough. Futureverse team took a bit more time so we can figure out how to add a body and legs to CryptoPunk's NFT, essential for the metaverse, despite what Meta would have you believe that he's referencing. Oh, never mind. I thought he was talking about meme coins. I think he's saying like Meta Facebook. We can do this for any punk now. The cool thing is you could change the punk style as well in the process. So Aaron was out here tweeting some of the Futureverse technology and kind of showing that, hey, we can put a head, we create a body that's pixelated, somewhat similar to that, and then creating a full 3D avatar rather quickly, which is kind of nuts. And we'll highlight some of the other wicked 3D bodies they have, which is going to potentially add the utility for NFTs. As we've said, there's not really any place to take advantage of having them. It was all kind of up to the team. So I made a post the other day that was highlighting the Goblin Ring. But going back to a post a year ago, some say 2023 is the year of the rabbit. This is from the Futureverse team. But the goblins have other plans. Their portal repairs are nearing completion, requiring only a final bounty of void seeker components to regain function and restore the goblin horde. The Goblin Queen calls upon her loyal followers to pledge seekers to this noble cause in exchange for a coveted reward. Those who pledges are deemed worthy will be rewarded with goblin amulets of incredible power. Amulets will bestow their holders with the blessings of the Goblin Queen, granting them exclusive access to holder-only mints, voting rights in Goblin Society, and unique in-game actions, along with many more benefits to the chosen queen. To the queens chosen. The pledge will begin in February, and aspiring Goblin loyalists will have 1 week to pledge their Seekers. The Goblin Queen will only accept Seekers in groups of 1, 5, and 15, with the amulets of different rarities awarded to each pledge group. If the Goblins successfully repair their portal, they'll be able to call forth the Lost Goblin Horde to join the Tinkers in Goblin Town. How will this impact the Third Kingdom? We can't wait to find out. So everybody's kind of forgot about this. But exclusive mints, you had to burn 15 Seekers, which are a part of the entire Seeker network, which the rewards just went out for them. They're pretty decent. And so this is apparently supposed to be a big part for the Third Kingdom, but it's not been mentioned about whatsoever. We'll see. Going way, way back to the early days of how NFTs got distributed, one of the first utilities of Bored Ape Yacht Club was getting a free Arabian camel mint. These guys said they were doing a show. I have no idea what the hell happened with it. I think they were just kind of trying to ride the wave. But either way, there is your first utility back in NFTs. Prime, as we just highlighted a moment ago, absolutely blitzing. Avatars haven't moved. Did you guys read the papers or what? Exact same thing with Futureverse. It seems that people are talking about the root, but they are not looking at the NFTs whatsoever. I really think that it is something to take note of, that at some point, this could be very wrong, but at some point, we could see that NFTs start getting mispriced heavily, which across the board, that you could argue they already are. But when it gets to a point where you start noticing people taking actions and there's sweeps, because for having these NFTs, there's some kind of token, like I just showed you with CyberKongs, that's when you got to pay attention, because that's when things overall from the different ecosystems that are going to have NFT yielding tokens are going to have the same effect that it was when they first announced a token was coming for that, which a lot of people thought, for Pudgy Penguins, they moved because potentially there was a token for that. Obviously, that's not happened yet, but I think that was some of the assumptions initially. Prime will see $111, so it's going to 10x from here. Mid-bull run supply about to be locked for prompt staking. TCG entering public availability. AI Sim sets to release in Q4. People used to think it was meme, but a 4x on a market cap is well within realistic possibilities. Well, I mean, we're seeing the smaller market caps with the meme coins, but again, for anything that has the utility, if you have people that want to play that, again, just trying to highlight the notion. People are saying these older collections and stuff that's not exactly brand new with that. I don't think so. Will be very interesting to follow the memes versus NFTs trend this year. Personally expecting the top memes to greatly outperform, but we'll be happy to be wrong on this one. So NFTstats.eth highlighting the meme coin to NFT market caps. Pepe up there at 3,000 million. Is that how the hell you say that? I don't even know. But MAYC all the way back here at 162 million, BAYC 514 million, and everything except for CryptoPunks up here completely dominating the chart. It's a very interesting graphic. Very interesting graphic. Solana network activity is currently shattering all-time highs in many different areas. Daily network fees are now at 3.8 million. And if you remember, early stages NFTs, half the people that were into NFTs were like, I want to get enough ETH to run like a validator. Now the dream slowly went away and everybody's like, no, I just want to buy more NFTs. But that was the initial thing. What's going on here now? Solana making this much. Do people say, I just want the soul because it's going to be printing a new record and up 754% on the month. Daily DEX trading volumes are over 3.8 billion, also a new record and up 430% on the month. Now, is this a top because it's all driven by meme coins, potential washing for these NFTs, or is it just showing what the future could look like if you're a part of this ecosystem? In terms of users, daily active addresses on Solana are now over 1.8 million, the highest level since September of 2021, yet perhaps more interestingly, 870,000 new daily active addresses entered into the ecosystem yesterday. Oh, wow. 870,000. Now, this might not be 100% accurate. Could be higher, could be lower. But just thinking about that in terms of adoption, what did we see Top Shot peak at? Like 151? No, it's upwards of like 300 to 400,000, wasn't it? So this is wow. This is a lot more. This is what happens when your assets aren't really your assets. 1 million in gaming assets frozen. The $1 million Steam account with its variety of legendary Katawas 2014 stickers is still trade banned and will not be lifted. The account owner stated that he can use the Steam market, indicating that he will apply the stickers to guns and sell them on Steam to himself. I have no idea. But for the games out there that have these kind of marketplaces, like I've not played these where it's real world, right? Like I play RuneScape, and the only thing that they did is they introduced the ability to buy bonds, and so people in game could pay with enough of like the in-game gold to get like 14 days of membership to like the bigger access, or you could spend like $8.99 a month, or sorry, not even a month, but buy like a bond that's worth about 10 million of the in-game token. So it's not you're trading the assets, it's you're getting the ability to trade IRL money for other people's in-game membership time if they can't afford it, I guess. Best way to word it. Only in crypto, $10,000 to $3.7 million in a week. This person bought the Book of Memes. Again, these headlines, they're starting to take over. People are going to be paying attention. I see a lot of similarities between this meme cycle and the 2021 NFT cycle. I think now we are in August 2021. Plan accordingly. What? August 21. Okay. August 21. Bring up the chart here. What does August? So this is the start. So this is back when, for an example, use Bored Apes just because it's easy. Apes were trading at 22 ETH, and near kind of the peak, they were going for 158 ETH. Wow. I mucked that up royally. But so 20 ETH all the way up to 158. So basically, TLDR is insinuating that everything's going to move. Now, speaking of this, shout out Roman to Roni. The man. We do a little rotating of memes into grails. Excited to be a punk. Would love to connect with the community more. So these things are like $200,000. So you're telling me this guy got into a couple meme coins and got enough made where he's like, yep, I'm going to go buy CryptoPunk. That's crazy. But it's happening. Binance's new CEO, Richard Tang, expects Bitcoin to cross the $80,000 mark by the end of this year. Fantastic. But DC investors saying 80K? What? Chocolate? Did anybody say chocolate? Anybody seen the SpongeBob episode? Okay, so yeah, I mean, that he's basically insinuating that it's not going to move much, if at all. Now we got Spike from Persona. Okay, we have a tweet. His clap back to people saying what's going on. Quality takes time. We're getting there. Okay. So if you haven't seen this, here's the rumor that was created by Nick. However, he was right that Cool Cats did. Well, he made a remark about Cool Cats getting sold. There was like a portion of it where Futureverse got, but it was like a really behind the scenes thing, but it was created initially as FUD, but he's out here, or sorry, shouldn't say initially perceived as FUD from the wider audience, but he's here making another bold claim.
Good morning from New York. 2 years ago, Nike acquired crypto fashion brand Artifact for a reported $1 billion sum, choosing to make Artifact's founders incredibly rich. Now, according to our sources, Nike's shutting down Artifact this year. Will that be a poor choice? I'll leave you to decide.
Okay, so basically, to recap, he thinks that Nike is going to shut down Artifact. And the other day, we had a whole bunch of people making a comment when Nike laid off some of its staff that it was the whole Artifact team. The Artifact team came out and said that that was inaccurate. It's false news. But as Pepe MFer says, it doesn't say they're selling to new owners. It says they're shutting it down. Now, here's a very interesting perspective. Web3 loyalty strategy bros in shambles right now. And this is assuming, which would make an ass out of you and me, as my mom would say. But the rumors are true regarding Artifact, but Artifact and Starbucks Odysseys, two of the most important case studies when it comes to how large companies can leverage Web3 to bolster community and customer acquisition, are shutting down. My monkey brain bull conspiracy is that these companies want to hold ETH and Bitcoin and other crypto on their balance sheet, and having a retail crypto activation muddies the waters for them. So you just shut down the loyalty grift and hold the best performing assets on the market. Okay, listen, if I want perspective, did I ever get it? So they can, the business side, just to hold the assets. Or on the flip side, if we remember when Top Shot was at its peak, didn't it get like an $8 billion valuation or some absolutely unheard of VC raise? So if it's done correctly, obviously you can make a hell of a ton, right? But it's a hard part to argue. Now, with all the meme coins and craziness, different ones are popping up and collections are having to say, hey, just so you know, we're not doing anything right now. The Gutter Cat coin, that's whatever. There's these other memes. The Lazy Lions are not releasing a token at this time. Anything stating otherwise is untrue. There's lots of coins being thrown around in recent weeks. Stay safe, everyone. Recently, we have seen autoglyphs set for 5,000 ETH that got sold. Alien Punk sold for 4,500 ETH. GCR purchases Dog with Hat NFT for 1,210 ETH. And Slurf raises 10 million and accidentally burns the funds. Pre-sellers get no tokens. Dev owes taxes. I try to tell people it'll be wild this season. It is starting. Really? Now, the dog with hat thing is interesting because you might have seen the image of the dog wearing the hat that they used as the logo. And I guess the person who took that photo or owns the dog has never really received anything from this. And then obviously with the crypto side of things, it's, you first take a photo, it goes viral, you're not really expecting anything. But then when people start capitalizing on that, then it seems a little suspicious. So Daniel here saying it was kind of rubbing me the wrong way that the owner of Whiff Dog wasn't really benefiting financially. Really cool to see the auction went well, just for that photo we shared that's an NFT, and she made a crazy bag. Not only is it the right thing to happen, but also kind of wraps up the whole situation full circle. Huge W. So that is sweet. Person got paid. The Magic Eden domination is real. I hadn't really looked at the markets, bought anything. I still kind of look through Blur for the most part. But Magic Eden, top 24-hour marketplace statistics, own 50% of the market share, followed by Blur, and then Tensor, OKX, and then OpenSea with only 5.37%. Now, some of this stuff could be wash trading, could be kind of right? We have the diamonds reward, same with Blur. Some of this stuff could be wash, whatever, but still very interesting to see the breakdown of that. Besides punks, I think doodles are probably the best PFP choice. If I was to go back and make the arguments about what brand or look of those NFTs early on, yeah, I'd kind of argue doodles is that. Apparently, they're making an adult show. They've played some GIFs, or not played some GIFs, but they made ones where it's like a scene. They have a short little soundtrack behind them. It's very good mood setter, and I think Doodles will do rather well. Tim Sweeney, the founder of Epic Games, has started following Aaron McDonald. All right, what do we got cooking here, guys? Just by chance, or what are we doing? And part of their thing, as I mentioned earlier, is they're changing the 2D avatars to 3D. So here is what a doodle would look like. It's a little bit different. It kind of reminds me of like a Paper Mario type of look. The next one here is Ute. So there's the 2D Ute, and then they make it in 3D, which, damn, I don't know. Listen, I know I'm bullish, but that stuff is coming across decent. And then Shar is out here at Reebok. Maybe we got something going on with Reebok Impact. Huh? We got a lot of things cooking. Now, back to the meme coin era. We now have people that are buying different tokens. And I remember BitBoy did a fight with somebody, and I guess they were saying like, oh yeah, whoever's token wins, like woohoo. But there was not anything actually for it. And that feels the same thing with this. It's like, okay, so let me get this straight. We're randomly buying a token for either fighter, and then if they win, we expect other people to go and purchase that after the fight once it's no longer relevant, or arguably, I guess, until the next fight, which they can try to drum up some hype around. This doesn't make sense unless there's some kind of way of like, okay, if if one of these fighters at a certain lock, like the contract closes, right? And then I don't know, if a token gets burned, or I don't know. There's got to be some kind of incentive. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. Like what the hell's the point of this? We're just creating shit for the sake of it. New look for 101.artifactpoint.com. Best place to find all artifact updates. Okay. We're scrolling through. Again, kind of a remark to Nick a little bit earlier. Is this highlighting that, hey, they're still actually doing stuff, but this is cool, where it breaks down rather simplistically what they have on their site in terms of the different projects, like Project Animus, highlighting that. And then there was somebody in the artifact community that went out and they made this.
Good morning from New York. 2 years ago, Nike acquired Artifact for a reported $1 sum. According to our sources, Nike's shutting down Artifact this year. Will that be a poor choice? I'll leave you to decide.
So they're saying that he's full of crap, but great community animation on that one. Big little clip here. If you missed the session with Aaron, Chip, and Jeff, basically saying that Roblox and Fortnite are going to have like the first activations of things with Futureverse. What?
I wanted to jump in some questions from some of the people out there. So Fire Badger Gaming said, so when will the Roblox Fortnite community actually realize that they're part of the Futureverse family?
I think if you look at the way that both of those companies seem to be organizing their roadmaps, they kind of understand that that openness will win too. And so the underlying ideas of how we're creating this technology should mean that we all end up in the same point, that people can create content easily using these tools, that content is transportable and interoperable between these applications and experiences. And we're certainly, driving down that path. You'll start to see some of our first interoperable content coming out shortly for Roblox and Fortnite. And so I think...
Okay. I mean, he highlighted the interoperability, right? Like, I'm curious if it's, hey, we have different things that we can just kind of mix match into these different worlds, but it's also ones that are connected to Web3 for people that are wanting that legitimate experience per se. Is that meaning something beyond that? I don't know. Kind of spicy. Former Jagex CEO for RuneScape, Mark Gerhard, has announced his newest project called Ascendant Infinity with PlayFusion Studios, a multiplayer FPX or first-person shooter with Apex Legends root in biopunk world where you fight enemies to extract resources. So this looks like the game that Gala Games is doing, Last Exodus. And then on top of that, didn't we just have last week where everybody was talking about how Andrew Gower, the founder of RuneScape, was launching their game after 10 years? Notice how Jagex and RuneScape are getting brought up all over the feed again? That's interesting. Kind of reminds me of the time when NFTs were launched and people just put all of the places that people worked at in the bio and then it ended up actually not going anywhere. But, some of them did. It's funny what having a name, reputation, etc. can bring. People want that. Before we get going, reminder, what you bridge your Seeker to the root network, you can upgrade it to reveal the class and power. There's a little bit of a breakdown here from Kona Road saying that there has been 34,000 plus Seekers that haven't moved over yet, but 10,503 of them were burned for amulets of those rings we showed a little bit earlier, and only about 4,000, less than, have upgraded their Seeker. So very, very small numbers. Kind of reminds me of how many people were staking root earlier for that vortex. Here are some nut stats from X. 250 million people use X every day. 550 million people visit the global town square every month. On average, users spend 30 minutes a day on X. How much time do you spend on X? Now, speaking of GDC, We got Arbitrum having a huge setup. I don't even want to think about how expensive it is to rent there, let alone these specific setups. Do they keep it? Do they store it somewhere? But this looks like a hell of a booth. So Arbitrum paid a bag. Hopefully they get the recognition out of that event they are looking for. Another 3D avatar here from Captain McDonald. This one, it's interesting because it's like so smooth, but I feel like I would need to see it in the world because otherwise this makes me think that it looks like as good as like a Fortnite avatar where to just plop in. Listen, like I got to see it first. Now, a part of the conversation yesterday at the Bored Ape meeting that they held was around the Bored Ape Yacht Club focus and them having like an LLC to specifically focus things on Bored Apes. So the focus in 2024, they said, is Ape Fest, Clubhouse, Made by Apes, collabs, and global events. So again, big difference because it felt like we didn't know those were the focuses. It was kind of felt like everything was just going on gaming. United States pre-sale bros are about to join SBF. The SEC developed specialized team targeting illegal ICO pre-sale mania on cryptocurrencies after developer accidentally burns 10 million. Okay. Initially, you're probably like, oh, you're right. But then thank God for community notes because they say this is a photoshopped image and we would almost look like an idiot. So that didn't actually happen. Now, the BYC LLC was created because the Bored Ape team was spread too thin as Yuga Labs grew over the team. And they're just kind of re-highlighting that the apes are now getting a focus. Now, I seizure warning on this. I'm going to maybe keep it where it's like half screen here. But the heavy metal second development is out. This is kind of what it looks like. Looks decent. It kind of reminds me of like Rescue Heroes vibe early days. A lot of people saying that the music was giving them PTSD. A lot of negativity around it, to be honest. A whole bunch of people saying that they were selling their apes. We'll wait to see. We'll wait to see. But damn, things are funky in NFT land. So we looked at the new Binance CEO a little bit earlier. CZ saying, my next project is Giggle Academy. They don't have a logo yet. I mean, it looks like they do now. 444,000 followers, free basic grade to 112-ish education for all. That's amazing. No revenue, gamified, adaptive. Oh my goodness, what a banger. So ZZ popping in here, trying to do an educational company, I suppose, app. Be dope to see what it looks like. Earning your first million in crypto isn't difficult. I just sold the digital horse for $3,500. I purchased it for $21,000 3 years ago. If you guys don't know the hype of Zedrun, it's one of the first NFTs that gave like an extra kind of utility where you were able to enter them into races, and they had a prize pool. I've usually made the reference to racers, kind of reminds me of what this was back in the day. It'll be interesting to see what has hype and what has sustainability. I was interested to see how much SOL has been sent as a result of the pre-sale meta and calculated 655,000 SOL, $122 million has been raised from 27 pre-sales, 122 million liquidity drain into the pre-sales. This is very similar to early NFTs. Very, very similar. But people are killing it on it. So they keep going until they can't anymore. But what if that never comes and they continue to pop off? Every coin I aped into has either moved or went to zero with haste, says Adam Hollander. Even though overall I made a little money, I'm over this meta. It's not fun and stressful. Each time I play with meme coins, I feel this way after a few days. How do people do this for long periods without mentally breaking? Can we go back to regular scheduled programming? I miss NFTs. Less than 30 days ago, Pudgy Penguins were at 20 ETH, and the same people telling you they were going for 100 or going to 100 are now telling you NFTs are dead. There is a lesson in that. Study that. This is why I always yap and complain and moan about perspective, looking at both sides of things, because you really just don't realize you don't know. And nobody knows. We try, you give an educated opinion, guess, breakdown, whatever, but you still might not know. But people go out there acting like experts all the time. But don't forget, it's just a little dip. The Bitcoin halving is in 33 days. and nobody's talking about it. All these collections and people are doing meme coins. I don't get it. So Red Lion is a media outlet per se that does media, entertainment house, recording crypto, NFT history throughout the Red Lion. Okay, so TLDR, it's like a blog, but they have NFTs and stuff with it. Red Lion here, the founder. We are processing refunds today. 50% is already burned in the LP. People are risking everything out here to launch a meme coin to be a part of the craze. It's kind of nuts. So Da Vinci here did a thread about EC, but EC is a one-stop liquidity solution for sellers with a fun and safe raffle system at an affordable cost, tailored for digital assets, token, and real-world assets. It's got 364,000 followers already on it. I've never heard of it before. But this is nuts. Your journey begins trending. Listen, apparently you can put 12 cents into this and it's a part of it. Like I'm trying to fully understand here. What the hell is this? So introduction, I had the privilege of speaking to founder VSAD earlier today. Vava has an impressive background and a clear goal. ESA introduces a gamified approach to acquiring NFTs, tokens, and real-world assets through a lottery system, making it easier for small investors to participate. Example, a whale wants to sell their ice penguin for $500,000, but there is a low market liquidity. So instead, they sell 5,000 tickets at $100 each. This maintains profit while lowering the barrier of entry for individuals. So let me get this straight. You can go in and enter on whatever these things are for $5. So you're telling me there's a chance that I could get a Bored Ape for $5 right now. Do you know how many people are going to do this? They put whatever into a lottery ticket. They've never had any success in that. One USDC for a DGOD? I mean, listen, early, but this NFT finance wave might be crazy. Another one here, a refund still going out. Move the rest of the funds to Binance to partially convert to stables and to avoid significant SOL withdrawals. It's a hell of a lot of money, so we'll allocate properly to not disappoint anyone who have trusted us. I don't know, but people are doing another pre-sale. Oh, man. Okay, so the Gabe guy is not a fan. Basically, this is a big post about how big gaming corporations have no idea what they're doing in Yuga, and yeah, meme coins are doing great. So we just, oh man, the timeline's crazy. Another spike tweet here referencing Persona and all the FUD that's out there. We're here to build a flagship brand in Web3, a home for anime and retro anime lovers, a place to discover Web3 and Web3 gaming, a place to connect with great community, deadly focused on our gaming long-term vision. Now, I generally speaking, not a bad sentiment, except they just kind of posted the unrevealed background. Listen, show me a sneak peek. Give me a little bit something more. You know what I mean? Give me a little bit something more. World of Warcraft announced a new 60-player battle royale mode called Plunderstorm. So this is kind of interesting because we saw like the first-person shooters battle royales, but how much have we gotten about this type of one? World of Warcraft entering the battle royale genre. Does it make big waves? Do people want to play in this aspect? Is it more fun than grinding out a character in PvE? Is this going to be much bigger than World of Warcraft, as we kind of saw what happened with Warzone? Is it also interesting that the Futureverse people are launching a battle royale across many genres as well? Not insinuating that they're a part of this, but just the notion of, hey, if this style of game gets really popular, is it good for all the other games within that category? Same thing as I mentioned for League of Legends with their upcoming fighting game for the likes of, I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head, but it's the Rec League. The Rec League with Yuga, right? Are fighting games coming back? Would both of those popping off be big? I don't know. We'll see. Breaking, Coinbase X Ronin Network is coming. Coinbase X Sky Mavis. I guess this was an announcement that happened a little bit earlier. Kind of interesting, but huge come up for that ecosystem. And to end the note here, this is kind of wild. So Evan says, hi, Twitter friends, peers, and all. I've been gone for a long time. Last year, I unfortunately suffered a major health emergency. It's been a long road to recovery over the last several months. So he's back. He's excited that Doodles has popped off. That's amazing for Evan. And then immediately, full disclosure, if Project Gray of Doodles doesn't get me and or others excited, I will sell my Doodle. I will sell my Doodle. Blude's been out with a health crisis, and this guy's out here saying, if you don't get me excited, I am flooring my doodle. It is a tough world out there in Web3. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's it for this edition of XFeed. We'll see you again tomorrow.